Hi angels, welcome to Earth Angel Energy. I'm the Earth Angel and today I'm bringing you another pick a card reading, and today's topic is what are people assuming about you right now? And I have 3 piles for you. Pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. So go ahead and take a second, see which pile resonates with you, and we can go ahead and get started. Hi pile 1. So if you chose the first pile, then this is your reading on what are people assuming about you. Okay, so I see a couple assumptions about your life, and then some stuff about your character as well. So first and foremost, people could be assuming either you're married or in a commitment here. I'm really curious about this 7 of Swords in reverse, and I think I pretty much see what this is. But I feel like there's some curiosity about what goes on in your life or kind of who you are. There's something a little bit mysterious here. With the Emperor, you do look like someone who kind of has their life together. So I feel like a lot of people assume that you kind of have control over your life. You look very nicely put together. Now with the 5 of Cups and the 5 of Pentacles, people do assume that there's like something more beneath the surface emotionally for you. This is going to sound weird, so I'm going to try to describe it as best as I can. You seem happy. You seem stable, but it still looks like something might be bothering you. I'm definitely going to need to get more because it's a bit of a contradictory energy. So I'm almost feeling like some of people's assumptions could even be more projections. 10 of Swords. Yeah, like what is that? Okay, let's see. What are people assuming? 8 of Wands. Okay. Oh, I get it, pile 1. Okay, so I don't know if you live in a place or you're in a community where there's like a lot of bad things going on and things are, getting kind of tough. People are assuming that you are kind of escaping or are kind of shielded from whatever's going on here. So like if a lot of people around you are struggling or times are kind of tough, people are assuming that you're kind of shielded from this. Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, and the 7 of Pentacles. Yeah. People do think it comes from like a genuine place. So like you could, especially for some of you, once again, if you've talked about like saving or investing or budgeting, or like making good decisions or something like that, people are assuming that you're largely unaffected by some pretty tough times going on around you. At the same time though, people are also assuming that you feel bad about this. So this is the main thing that I'm getting to. People don't see you as like a superficial person at all. They see you as someone who cares, about other people, who does the right thing. 7 of Swords in reverse is someone who's not like, you don't have your head in the sand. You don't think it's funny or amusing when people are suffering. Like you feel bad, but people are assuming that you're largely getting by. Yeah, 3 of Cups. You could still be connecting with people. Wow, yeah. Even if you simply like are still cheerful now or optimistic or you seem peaceful and happy, there's something here about people assuming that you're still living a good life even though a lot of struggle is happening around you. Okay, in the world as well on the top of the deck. Okay. At first I was like, what is going on here? Ace of Wands and the 3 of Wands. Yeah, it's like you have hope or you're looking forward to the future or you have opportunities coming in for you. So people could also assume that there's like movement in your life, but it's because of some sort of action. And especially too, if you've been here for a minute on this channel, if you've been listening to a lot of like the collective readings, I'm not super shocked by this because so many of the messages have been encouraging the collective to take certain actions just to keep yourself stable and abundant, even during like tough times, especially if you've talked about this kind of thing. There's something here where a lot of people feel really stagnant or stalled or feel very pessimistic. And there's this continuous idea that good things keep coming in for you or things haven't stopped for you. Even if things slow down, they never stop. Okay. Yeah, 7 of Cups, Page of Wands. People assume you have a lot of different avenues in your life. Like, you know a lot of people, or you have a lot of opportunities, you have multiple sources of income, or yeah. And it's allowed you to keep your hope alive, keep your spirit alive, give you direction, even in times where everyone else is feeling really icy and kind of stalled or stagnant. 8 of Pentacles as well. Page of Cups, Knight of Wands, and the 2 of Wands. People also assume that you kind of have 2 modes or 2 like energies that you get into. You either get into this very like warm, loving, sweet energy, or this very like fired up, passionate energy, and you switch between the 2. Or like you can get into both energies kind of at will. There's something here about a lot of people around you, not even necessarily projecting, but I think that there's so many people in your life who are feeling so stuck in their circumstances that they can't help but look at other people through that same lens, right? So someone's feeling like, I'm stuck and I have no options. They're also looking at other people around them and kind of putting them into 2 camps, like, oh, they also are stuck and don't have options, or oh my gosh, look at this person. They're not stuck and they do have options. I feel like people see you as someone in that second camp. Or like, once again, just able to find a path forward. Yeah, the Fool. People assume that you're someone who's highly adaptable as well. And so if there's people who are closer to you and kind of know what's going on with you, I feel like they're pretty much just seeing you as somebody who, like, no matter what life throws at you, you have the ability to move forward. And I think if there's people who don't know you very well, I'll be honest, just the way that you're carrying yourself right now, there could be just a lot of people around you who are just not feeling really good, not feeling very confident in themselves or their circumstances. And I just heard with that 5 of Pentacles, for some of you, if you go out and like spend money, but you don't spend a lot of money, like say you go out to like eat, but you'll get something really like cost effective, or you'll like go to a store and get like 1 item or 2 item, or you go to the grocery store and just get like all the essentials, but you don't look like you're struggling, you look like you're smart. I heard that really specifically. The Ace of Cups, yeah. Something about you, and this is really interesting. So this is a phenomenon that I notice a lot. When you look happy, when you look healthy, when you look like, okay, I'm good, I'm grateful, even if you're not out here like balling and like, you know, just being very reckless with how you use your resources, people are going to assume that you have those resources because you seem happy, because you seem peaceful and stable. So instead of people assuming that you don't have it, they're just going to assume that you have it, but you're smart about it. Yeah, and I love this Hierophant. This is actually one of my favorite cards in this deck. Because this Hierophant, like if you look at her, she's like balancing the books, right? She's like keeping a record. The Emperor and the 7 of Swords in reverse. People feel like you are really organized and really on top of your affairs. Like people are assuming that you're on top of things, even in difficult times. And you have lots of great ideas. I'll be honest, Pile 2, Pile 1. If this resonates for you, definitely check out Pile 2, because I feel like I probably said that for a reason. But people feel like no matter what, like you're not just gonna like wallow in despair or like lose hope. Like you always have a path forward. You're always able to kind of pivot and figure out what your options are. Even if it's not necessarily like going to solve every problem right away, you know how to get yourself closer to a solution, if that makes sense. Really nice energy, honestly. But especially for people who know you, even if you are doing like well in the current circumstances, they also know that you're not like celebrating this either. Like you're not like, yeah, see, I know what to do and I'm good and the rest of you, like not at all. Like people know that you still feel for people. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune. You understand the Wheel of Fortune here. Yeah. What goes up must come down. There's good times and bad times. People assume you just kind of know how to ride the wave. You know how to ride the wheel. What's this 10 of Swords, please? And the 9 of Wands, yeah. 2 of Swords. Very strong-willed. Ooh, I remember recently I watched a movie. I think it won the Oscar. But there was one scene where, these characters went through a really, really hard time, and they'd kind of gotten to the other side, right? They kind of escaped this hard time. And they had this conversation after reuniting years later, and he's like, I knew you would survive. I knew that you would find a way forward. People assume that you're that person, that you're always going to find a way forward. But once again, there's nothing harsh or desperate about the energy at all. You're still loving, you're still kind, you're still supportive. You still have great connections, but you're also really determined to thrive and to survive and to succeed. The Temperance in a very balanced way. It's a very comforting energy. And so I think this is more so for people who you're a little bit closer to or people who know you a little bit better. But a lot of people assume that no matter what goes on, no matter what happens, pile one's going to be okay. And pile one's going to know where to go from here. Pile one is going to know the way forward. Very intelligent. You could also be pretty predictive as well. People could assume that you either know what's going to happen before it does or you see things coming. Yeah. But it just comes from such a loving place. People assume that you're going to take care of yourself. You're going to try to take care of others where you can, but you're going to remain loving and balanced throughout that whole process. It's just those peaceful people who are self-sufficient and action-oriented. And once again, it's not an obsession. You're not over the top about it, but people just see you making steady progress towards your goals and steady progress towards, setting yourself up a good way in life. Ace of Pentacles. People just assume that you're blessed. You're blessed, you're stable, you put action towards it, but you also enjoy the ride of life as well. But you do it with care and empathy. So you could be quite polite or quite nice. Yeah, people just kind of assume, you're that person who no matter what happens, you're going to enjoy life and you're going to do well. Because that's just who you are. Really nice, very balanced, positive energy here. Very mature. This also probably is not your first rodeo. You've probably been on Earth before. This is probably not your first life. And I think that you've learned a lot and you've brought a lot of very valuable lessons with you on your travels through the ages. Really cool energy. That's what I have for you, Pile One. That's what people assume about you. Really nice. And of course, different messages are going to apply for people who are strangers versus people who know you versus people who are highly spiritual. But I tried my best to explain those so you know what applies to who. But that's what I have for you. Thank you all so much once again. Special thank you to my patrons who have access to the exclusive version of this reading. And if you ever want a personal reading with me, feel free to book with me below. But thank you so much, and until I see you next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and God bless you. Hi, Pile 2. So if you choose a second pile, then this is your reading on what do people assume about you. Okay, so I'm seeing this very peaceful, kind of genuine energy, and then I see some weirdness down below. So I feel a lot of people assume, honestly, that you're someone who is a very forthright, upstanding person with the Knight of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Three of Pentacles. Honestly, someone who's just living life, working, building on your goals and your ambitions. You just know those people where you're they're a good person. They're just trying to create the life that makes them happy. People feel you have really, really nice, genuine intentions for who you are, how you are. You could be seen as someone who's quite consistent, someone who always shows up, and someone who just does a good job, works really well with others. But with the Seven of Wands and the Seven of Cups and the Emperor, people also could be assuming that, once again, you seem you have a lot of positive attributes. If it's strangers, they might be seeing your appearance. Maybe you look good, maybe you dress good, maybe you smell good, maybe you speak well. If people know you more closely, people assume that you are someone with many, many talents, and talents that they're not even aware of. A very multi-talented person with a lot going for them. There is also this assumption too that you are working towards some sort of emperor energy. So it's like, I'm sure we've all heard of those people who, like, they work for a company. This isn't as common as an experience anymore. But, back in the day, you work for a company, you show up every day, you do good work, and you just kind of work your way up. And after like a decade or two, you become the boss. People feel like that's kind of your trajectory. Like, people can tell that you're not just working on things just to like do them. You're working towards an elevation or a higher purpose. But people could also assume that even though your energy is very upright and very like clear, people assume that you might have like a lot of haters or a lot of people who are jealous of you, or you've just kind of had a hard time with people like coming after you for no reason or being envious of you. So with the Emperor too, there is something very independent about you as well. So people could assume that even though you work well with others, you're perfectly fine working by yourself. Especially if people see you out and about on your own ever. There could be this assumption, once again, you carry yourself in a way where people see you as someone significant. But they could also assume that at times you may have been isolated because people, once again, were like envious or jealous, or there could be something different or unique about you. But I'll be honest, people also assume that it doesn't really bother you. It's kind of like, hey, if we work well together and you're cool, I'm cool. But if I've got to do this on my own, that doesn't bother me at all. It's actually a really nice energy. People see you as someone who's actually very unproblematic. Yeah, Ten of Pentacles. No, yeah, like you're not afraid to walk. People also assume that you're not afraid to like walk on your own. So like if you're out and about, like you don't look shy, you don't look like embarrassed or anything. I mean, I do stuff by myself all the time. I also do stuff with friends and do stuff with family and my partner. But I'll go out and do things by myself, no problem, and have a great time doing it. So people definitely assume that about you, that you don't mind. You like your own company. People definitely assume that. Now with the Ten of Pentacles, I'll be honest, people could be assuming that you're doing quite well, you're quite successful, stable here. They could be assuming you come from a good family. Something about the way that you speak as well too, and that you carry yourself. You seem like you were raised well. Okay, Two of Wands. People could assume you have some choices here. Now I like this Two of Wands because they look different in every deck, but in this one, like this person's clearly made a choice. This other one is kind of like discarded in the background here. So people could assume that you have choices, you have options, but you know what your direction is. And if you look at this Knight of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Three of Pentacles, this is someone with direction. Even though you have lots of talents and abilities, it's like you know what you want to do. So people, especially people who know you a little bit better, could assume right now, like you know what you're doing. You know where you want to go in life. I feel like people believe in you, actually. Even people who may have like hated on you in the past, I feel like a lot of people actually assume that you're going to be successful in what you're working on. People assume you're going to be a boss here. Let's get some more. This is really nice so far. Six of Wands. Come on, Six of Wands. People assume you're going to be successful. People assume you are successful. The Queen of Wands. You're very attractive. People also assume you're very confident as well. Something about you two not being like over the top about it as well. I had a really funny conversation with someone last night where I've been meeting a lot of people, especially in a professional setting. And the thing that always gets me is, when you first meet people and then you see like their work or their contributions or like, what they're capable of doing. For me, just from my experience so far, what I've noticed is the quietest people in the room are usually the most talented. Like when I see their work, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And the people who are really loud and proud, I'll leave it at that. So once again, there's something about you where you seem confident, but there's something like low-key about it as well with the Fool. It's like, I'm just here to like work hard, to do well. The Hierophant. Something about people assuming you're going to be very, very successful. Seven of Swords. No, it's a Seven of Swords here. With the Two of Wands. Okay. Something about you doing things the right way too. This came through recently. Yeah, and the Justice. Okay. So this came through in another reading recently, and I thought it was so interesting. So people assume if you wanted to, like you could be successful doing things like the wrong way, right? Like, playing dirty, backstabbing people, using things other than your talents and abilities to get ahead. But people assume that you won't do that or you do not do that. People think that you're a very upright person. Yeah, with the Seven of Wands and the Seven of Cups, something about people assuming that you are a very, like, I'll be honest, people kind of assume you walk on the straight and narrow. Like, you're fun, you're exciting, you're passionate, but nobody thinks that you do anything, like, shameful, you know? The Hierophant. Look at this Hierophant. Like, doesn't this Hierophant just look like someone where it's like, oh, yeah, like, they're trustworthy. Like, they got there the right way. This is really nice, pile 2. I feel like you're kind of polarizing in the sense that a lot of people either really like you or they're really jealous of you, but everybody respects you. Judgment. Yeah, I feel kind of like strong reactions, but people assume the same things about you. But some people are excited about it and some people are jealous of it. Okay, let's get some more. This is nice though. I like it. I like your energy a lot. I think you're going to do very well in life, pile 2. Okay, pile 2. The Sun. Wow, the Justice and the Six of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. This is so nice. So people assume you're a happy person. People assume you're an honest person. This is funny, the Wheel of Fortune. Kind of random, but I think it's really cute. People could also assume that you've always been this way. So you're giving off a very, like, attractive, talented, like, bubbly energy. People could assume even when you were a kid you were like this. For some of you, you were. But people, wow, okay. I'm getting some, like, older assumptions now. There's definitely people who've always assumed you were going to be successful. Or you could be the kind of person where when you try things, they usually turn out well for you. I feel like this is just going to be a continuous cycle for you. So if you're, like, in a good flow and you feel like things are moving for you, but you've dealt with this your whole life where, you know, you've been successful, things have kind of worked out for you incrementally, especially if you've been working with God to get you on your right path and you're on your life path right now, this is a cycle that I think is just going to continue for the rest of your life. But I think that you know that. And once again, anyone who's successful, anyone who's doing well, you're going to have people who love you and you're going to have people who are jealous or, you know, feel a certain way about it. I think that you're kind of accustomed to this. But this, I think, are going to be assumptions for the rest of your life. But what I love to see in this energy is no matter what side of the fence people fall on with you, they're always going to assume that you're a successful, upstanding person. And you can only dictate that by your behavior. This is great energy, pile 2. Anything else? I love this. Oh my gosh, anything else? What do people assume about you? What do people assume? You don't want, yeah. So I do think you have a level of discernment with who you connect with, who you're friends with, simply because you're not afraid to, like, be on your own. I do think you enjoy your own company and people assume that as well too. Like, if you're on your own, people do not assume that you're lonely. But because of that, you're able to have pretty good boundaries with who you're friends with, who you're close with. But people assume whoever you're friends with, people assume that your friends and family people are close to, that they love you. People assume the people you have in your life are really close to you. They really, like, support you. If you ever, like, hang out with people, it seems like you're having a good time. This is so cute. I love it. The King of Pentacles. People assume a lot of really good things about you. The Two of Pentacles. With the Nine of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. Wow. People also assume you're a very adaptable person and you're not afraid to, like, work hard or to get your hands dirty to get the things that you want. Now, once again, I don't mean get your hands dirty literally, but, like, you're not afraid to, like, start another business or have another source of income or invest or save. Yeah. People just assume, like, you're honestly a very happy, stable person, but that you're also able to, like, manifest this as well. You ever meet those people who just, like, seem like really nice, warm people, and you're not at all surprised that they have, like, good friendships and good relationships? That's you. Yeah, Death card with the Six of Pentacles. And the Ten of Swords. And this is the last thing I will say to you, pile 2. People definitely assume if someone betrays you or backstabs you, like, you will happily dump them to the curb and you won't really make a big deal about it. It's kind of just like, whatever. But it doesn't feel like mean or anything like that at all. Yeah, with the Ace of Wands and the Ten of Wands. I don't know, it's because you seem so like happy, or you seem so content or like peaceful with life, or you're feeling so good. You really make it seem like you don't care if you have to let people or things go. People just assume that you're like, well, that didn't work out, bye. Like, and that's that on that. It's a very consistent energy. Yeah, the Hermit. But I think at the heart of this energy that people assume is that you know yourself. You're comfortable with yourself. You're comfortable with your journey. You're at one with yourself. And so you're able to manifest, good connections, success, because you know what's for you and you know what's not. You're not afraid to let go of what's not for you, and you're not afraid to move towards what is for you. And it makes really, really good outcomes in your life. Knight of Swords. You're not afraid to take action. And I will say this too, there's something sort of youthful and adventurous about your energy, but it comes from a really good place. And it's still balanced, but there's a level of like excitement and whimsy in your energy that I think really makes people assume that there's something kind of special about you. I think you've probably gotten this your whole life. I don't think you've ever really like blended in that much. I think you've always stood out, but in this very victorious energy. If people are in a not a great energy, there may be some envy, there may be some jealousy, but I feel like this has been a consistent for most of your life. But the beautiful thing about your energy right now is it seems like you're really in line with your energy. You're in line with yourself. You're connected to your life path. You're working with God. And so it's like it's turbocharging this successful energy. You're putting in the work, you're putting in the effort, you're having courage, you're letting your heart and your morals guide you. But you're not afraid to put yourself out there. You're not afraid to defend yourself. It's making for a very powerful, respected energy. People assume that you are totally in tune with yourself and the life that you want, and you're going after it. And they assume you're going to succeed in this. Awesome energy about you, like fabulous energy. Ooh, I love your energy. That was great. It feels really good too. It feels like magical, like sparkles and gold. It's wonderful. That's what I have for you, Pile 2. Awesome energy. I do hope this resonated. I hope you enjoyed that. Special thank you to my Patreon patrons. It's because of you that I can continue these messages and put them out consistently. And of course, if anyone would like a personal reading with me, you can feel free to book with me below. I would be happy to read the energy in your situation. But thank you so much. And until I see you next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and God bless you. Hi, Pile 3. So if she was the third pile, then this is your reading on what people are assuming about you. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of assumptions. I'm just going to read it to you how I see it because people's imaginations seem to be running wild here. Okay, I'm getting for some of you, people are assuming that, I'll be honest, either like you don't work or you don't need to work or you work some sort of non-traditional job, and they assume that your bills are paid, but maybe you have like a partner who's helping support you, or you have a family member. Something here about you receiving like financial assistance. Now with the Three of Swords in reverse, people could assume you kind of live like a charmed life here. Something about you having like strong morals or strong beliefs, but people kind of wondering if you live, once again, kind of a charmed life, and like you're not fully in touch with like the realities or hardships of the world. Now, once again, some of you could just not advertise everything you're doing to take care of yourself. Some of you definitely could have created your own stability. Some of you could have assistance or help here. But a lot of people seem to be assuming that you don't like experience like the hardships of life, or like your life is like easier or charmed or you're taken care of or something. People could assume you either have like an inheritance or someone who helps pay your bills. Let's see. The Ace of Wands, you're very attractive though. Chariot. Now for some of you, you're able to like take decisive action in your life, or you're always doing new things or always doing fun things. And so people could be assuming it's for that reason. Yeah, something about people assuming like, okay, you have something about you where you just don't seem like limited in life, or like you're willing to take risks or willing to move forward. I'll be honest, it's because for some of you, you like plan well. And so you're able to kind of allow different things to happen in your life because you have things to fall back on. But it's like with the Three of Wands, the Three of Wands and the Temperance, people assume that it's like no matter what happens for you looking ahead, you're like, everything's going to be fine. Like, I'm going to be perfectly fine. And people are just wondering why that is. Okay, that's why. I'm like, I think people are wondering something about the way that you're approaching your life, and they're trying to fill in the blanks. So if you're like, I'm going to move to this place, or I'm going to try this new thing, or, if there's a lot of chaos going around you and you seem very like stable, people could be wondering like why that is. And there's something here about people thinking that you have some sort of financial help or assistance. Now, for some of you, once again, it could be you and your partner pooling your income. You could have an inheritance. You could have savings. You could have investments. You could have multiple streams of income. Yeah. Page of Wands. Okay. I'm sorry, this energy is like, it's a little salty. I'm not gonna lie. I think you have some people who are like a little bit salty because there's something about you where your appearance or your age or your gender, something here is giving Page of Wands. So sort of like youthful, someone who's like kind of at the beginning of their journey, but at the same time, when you speak or the things that you speak about, it's very elevated. Like, I'm imagining a young person talking about like finances or, purchasing a home or traveling somewhere. And for some reason, people can't conceive that like you've actually like done this for yourself or you've created this for yourself. Yeah, the Seven of Pentacles. I just heard silver spoon. It's really interesting to me because I've definitely known like a lot of younger people. Number one, people could assume you're younger than you are. Page of Wands and the King of Pentacles. So you kind of look like a Page of Wands, but when you speak or the things that you're accomplishing is giving King of Pentacles, and people are assuming you had some sort of head start or leg up, when for some of you, you've definitely like built yourself up. I just heard the wildest phrase. I'm just going to say it. This is crazy. I just heard someone could think that you have like a sugar daddy or a sugar mama, but you are your own sugar daddy. This is wild. Nine of Wands. What is this? With the Ten of Wands. It's because you look stable. I don't know if you have a lot of people around you who are like really struggling, who are like really stressed. I just heard if any of you go out like in the middle of the day, like during the work day, or like if you like get groceries on like a Tuesday or something, or if people like see you out and about, people are just immediately assuming like Ace of Swords. It's kind of like a snap judgment almost. Like, they're not assuming, like, oh, maybe they work different hours, or, oh, maybe this is their day off, or maybe, they own their own business. No, it's like, oh, I bet that their bills are paid. Or something. Like, oh my, the Ten of Swords. Like, what the heck? This is probably the most, like, and I'm not sure why it's coming through this way. Let's find out. Because once again, it's not bad assumptions. You look like you're well taken care of. You look stable. You look happy. You look attractive. But there's just like this assumption of like, oh no, like this didn't come from their own hard work. Or like they had a silver spoon, or they have like a wealthy partner, or their bills are paid, or they have an inheritance or something. It's probably the most just like snap judgment, and I'm not sure why. Let's see why. Ten of Cups. Okay, with the Emperor. If you have a partner and people see you out and about, they could just think your partner pays for everything or something. Let's see. Ten of Swords. Seven of Wands. I don't know. One thing I will say for assumptions is a lot of these assumptions seem to be influenced by what people are going through. So like, if you're having a really good time and you're really happy, you're probably going to assume pretty good things about other people. If you're going through a really hard time and really struggling, you're probably going to assume negative things. Like, whatever energy you're in is going to put a spin on what you're assuming about people. If you're feeling good, it's going to be a positive spin. If you're feeling bad, it's going to be a negative spin. And I see that a lot of people around you are like going through a hard time right now. And you look really good with the Queen of Wands and the Ace of Wands and the Two of Cups. And you could be in a relationship, or you could just look like that kind of person where it's like, I bet their person pays for everything for them. Something about you being very, very attractive. Yeah. Or people could assume you have like an easy job because you look good, and so like you don't have to stress. Okay, the World. Yeah, I'm just getting kind of like this like spoiled energy, if I'm honest. But I don't know, like, it doesn't feel super malicious. It really just feels like people who are struggling. Like, nobody's looking at you as, like, underhanded or, like, a bad person or anything. Yeah, Four Cups. But they're, like, envious. And it seems like a lot of their assumptions are being informed by this envy. Yeah, Death in reverse. Yeah, people could assume you just live like this comfortable, cushioned life, or you have people in your life who will step in. Yeah. I'm not going to say what I just heard, but people are definitely assuming, like, say for instance, if something went bad in your life, like, you have people who would absolutely step in to take care of you or make sure that your needs are met or something. The Strength, yeah. Like, you have a safety net or a support system, even through difficult Three of Cups. People assume 100% you are not alone. Like, you have people to take care of you. You have people who will support you. Like, family, friends. Yeah, the Ace of Wands. Like, 100. Like, people are fired up and making sure that you're okay. People could also assume that people, like, keep in touch with you, or people kind of monitor to make sure you're okay. Like, people assume you are not alone at all. Like, you have friends and family who support you. You have a support system 100%. And like, if the wheel turns in a bad direction, you can just reach out to them and they'll come help you right away. Wow. Three of Cups, yeah. People assume that you have people who love you and care about you 100%. And I think the reason this is coming through is, I'll be honest, I think there's some people around you who feel like they don't have that. Or like, if something were to go bad, they don't have anyone that they can turn to. And so when they look at you, maybe you're out and about with people, or maybe just the way you carry yourself, the way that you dress, there's just totally this assumption. Also, because of that youthful energy, I think quite a few people are assuming that you are younger than you are. Especially if some of you are like in your 20s, people could even assume that you're like a teenager or something. And if you're like an adult and you're working, but maybe you're dressed well, you have like nicer things, and people are assuming that you're a teenager, then of course they're just going to assume that that's your parents giving you that, right? Or like you're a rich kid or something. The Sun, okay. So that's what's going on. You look well taken care of, but there's something about you where you look like you have a support system. You look like you have a family who cares for you. You have a partner. You, once again, like, you're not alone. People can just tell, or people who know you assume that. I heard some of you, your social media, people are like, oh yeah, like they come from a good family, or they have people who will take care of them. Wow, Eight of Wands. Yeah. Something about people assuming, like, if you're ever going through a hard time, all you have to do is call upon someone in your circle and they'll fix it for you. I'll be honest, I think there's also people you know who've maybe gotten on your bad side and they saw you recover and they're assuming, yeah. Exactly. Wow. I think this has happened actually quite a bit with people from your past, and they're assuming this as well. Like, if you had relationships end or situations end, communities end, and you were just able to move on really easily, people are assuming it's because you have a wide network, or you have a lot of people who care about you, or people who will support you and take care of you. Eight of Swords. Wow, it just keeps happening. Like, I think this is people who know you, if I'm honest. Now, for some of you, this could really resonate. But yeah, people are assuming, like, if you're ever going through a hard time, you have people you can call on to help you 100%. Like, you're not alone. You'll never be left alone. And if this resonates for you, I mean, what a blessing. It's a beautiful energy, honestly. And this is what I strive to do, you know, for my family, you know, especially for like people who I'm really close to, you know, people who work hard, but especially going through hard times. I'm like, I have your back no matter what. Like, if you need something, let me know. And I do have people in my family and my life who are just like that as well, too. So what a blessing. And if this doesn't resonate for you, I am praying that God brings people like that into your life. But this is what people are assuming, that you have a lot of people who have your back, and because of this, you're able to live a life where even if you have challenges, you know that if the rubber hit the road and things got like really dire, that you would have people to help you. And if you do, oh my gosh, what a blessing. Like, it's truly such a blessing. But yeah, people are assuming this, I think, because of the way you carry yourself, the way that you live your life. For some of you, you could have built up all this for yourself, by yourself, and that is a blessing. And I am so proud of you. And for others of you, you do have a support system, but you're still working really hard so that you don't have to call on people, that you can be independent. But it's nice to know that you have that if you ever need that. So blessings all around if this is resonating. And I just think that there's a lot of people around you who don't feel like they have people they can turn to. And so they assume this about you, or they might be a little envious. And honestly, have some understanding for them, especially if they're feeling isolated and alone in these very, you know, scary, stressful times. You know, try to have some sympathy, especially if this resonates for you, because that is a big blessing. And have understanding for people, because it's tough times out here. And if they feel really alone and feel really isolated, you know, I think they're sensitive about that. So you can pray for them. But if this resonates for you, I'm so glad, because having a support system or building that support system for yourself really makes life easier and just easier to enjoy. Beautiful, the sun. And also, too, if you pick this pile, I feel like this is an energy for you. Even if you feel like you don't have a support system, I feel like one is coming in for you and you're building that for yourself. Even if it's your own support system. We talk about it here. Saving, investing little bits, you know, making those smart decisions, having multiple sources of income if you can. Building that support system for yourself can really help you even in tough times. So it's a beautiful energy, and that's what I have for you. I do hope that resonated. I hope you enjoyed that. I want to say a special thank you to all my patrons. It's because of you and your support that I'm able to put out these consistent messages. And I hope you enjoyed the exclusive pick a card on my Patreon posted after this one. And of course, if anyone would like a personal reading, you can feel free to book with me. Information on how to do that is in the description below. But thank you so much. And until I see you next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and God bless you.